In August of 2009, the Egyptian Ministry of Antiquities announced a renovation project of an old building in Cairo. But what is the importance of this historic building? Well, this location was the Beit Midrash where Rambam, Maimonides, taught his students Torah almost 900 years ago, and later became Rambam Synagogue. Rambam's impact was so profound that after his death in 1204, the Egyptian Jewish community of Cairo turned this Beit Midrash into a synagogue bearing the name of Rambam, the abbreviation of the name Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon. Now let's go back to the 12th century. In 1148, Rambam and his family fled from Cordova in Islamic Spain, where he was born, to Fez, Morocco. However, due to continued harassment against Jews in Fez, at the age of 28, he fled again and founded his home in the more tolerant Egypt and settled in Old Cairo Fustat. Outside of his teaching Torah in Egypt, he became a physician, even for Sultan Salah ad-Din and his family, and was elected as the chief rabbi of the Jewish community for over 30 years. In addition, he was spreading his wisdom as Jewish communities from all over the Middle East would follow his writings and send him questions, from Morocco all the way to Yemen. Among his most influential works are the Mishnah Torah, the Guide for the Perplexed, Epistle to Yemen, and much more. Rambam used to pray at the Ben Ezra Synagogue. After all, it was right down the block from his house in Fustat. He would then travel every day to the Sultan's palace in Cairo. Then he would hurry back to teach his students in the Beit Midrash, located at the entrance of Hart el-Yahoud, the Jewish quarter of Cairo. As he wrote to one of his friends, he would go back home to Fustat in the evenings, and a long line of patients were still waiting for him, as if his job is never done. Let's return to Rambam Synagogue. It was built after the Rambam's passing in the 13th century and was active for the continuing centuries. On October 1973, the roof of the synagogue completely caved in, and if that wasn't enough already, then came groundwater damage, all in all leading to an unfortunate sight with only a small part of the original structure still remaining. This is what it looks like today, after its renovation works by the Ministry of Antiquities in 2008. Now let's talk a bit about the physical structure. The entryway reads Synagogue of Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon, Maimonides, in both Hebrew and Arabic, even though the Jewish community of Hart el-Yahoud used to call this synagogue Rav Moshe Synagogue. The synagogue's front door opens to a plaza, with a door to the left accessing the sanctuary. The sanctuary door is embellished with fruit-bearing palm tree as an ode to a verse from Psalms.
The righteous shall grow like the palm tree and flourish as the cedar in Lebanon.
The palm tree is also a symbol of the Jewish community in Cairo. Inside the sanctuary, the walls were adorned with elaborate paintings, a large wooden ark, chandeliers, and memorial lamps hanging from the ceiling. At the center of the sanctuary stands the bima, or stage, roughly the same as the original from centuries ago. From there, the cantor leads the prayer service and the Torah is recited. If you were to go straight from the courtyard, you would enter a hall that was the place of the original Beit Midrash. To the right are the mikvah bath, service rooms, and a staircase to a small woman's balcony with room for about 15 women. But if you were to turn left, right before the original Beit Midrash, which is still there, you would go down 6 or 7 stairs right into a cave under the Beit Midrash. This historic cave is where you will find a niche in the center and one to the right. The center niche is where Rambam was laid to rest during the Shiva, before his wish was granted and his body was ultimately buried in Tiberias. Pilgrims of various faiths would visit or even sleep in the adjacent niche, hoping the aura of Maimonides would help to cure them of their ailments. There are many stories and legends of healing associated with this place. A story tells of a woman who slept in the catacomb one night to pray for her chronically sick brother. That night, she dreamt of how to cure him, and witnesses say that the treatment worked, and her brother was cured. As Maimonides was the physician to the vizier of Egypt, it shouldn't surprise us that there are similar legends associated with Egypt's royalty. One story tells of King Fuad I, who left his cloak in the catacombs one night and was cured the next day of his ailment. Legends even say that the famous Egyptian singer Laila Murad, who converted to Islam and was subsequently rejected by Cairo's Jewish community, came to this tomb. Encased in her melaya, a soft black fabric covering her from head down, and gave a big donation. The next day, the community's anger had softened. Centuries after his lifetime, the synagogue stands tall in the glory of his namesake, and many tourists visit the site till this day. And thanks to the restoration projects, the legacy of the Rambam Synagogue lives on. That is all for now. Thank you for watching the video. Until next time, friends.